What is up, duelists? It's Chaotic Neutral, and today I'm coming to you with a Floowandereeze deck profile. So, I actually took this deck to my very first regional. I went to regional in Nashville this past Saturday, and did a lot better than I thought I was going to do. My goal was to make it into the top 64, and I ended up being 52nd out of 209 duelists. So, yeah, overall, I'm happy with how it turned out. 5 wins, 3 losses. But yeah, so I'm really glad I got that little milestone under my belt. Had a great time doing it. And so now I'm happy to bring you this deck profile. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, here we go. So for Floowandereeze monsters, we've got 3 copies of Floowandereeze and Rabina, 3 copies of Floowandereeze and Eaglin, 1 copy of Floowandereeze and Stree, 1 copy of Floowandereeze and Talkin, and 2 copies of the big boy, Floowandereeze and Impin. So, of course, with your little birds here, if they're in your banished area and you normal summon a wing beast monster, then they'll come back to your hand. And then, of course, with pretty much all your Floowandereeze monsters, when they're normal summoned and are able to do their effect, then on the back end of that effect, you can get another normal summon of a wing beast. Rabina, of course, it's going to allow you to search for a level 4 or lower wing beast. Eaglin's going to allow you to search for a level 7 or higher wing beast. Stree allows you to banish something from either graveyard. Talkin allows you to grab a banished Floowandereeze, bring it back to your hand. And Impin just pisses people off. But, yeah, so Impin's going to allow you to search for a Floowandereeze spell or trap, bring it to your hand, and then also, when Impin's on the field, your opponent's special summon monsters in attack position can't activate their effects, and then during damage calculation in battle phase, you can use Impin's effect to banish a card from your hand and have the opposing monster's attack that it's in battle with. So, yeah, just like I said, Impin just pisses people off. But those are the Floowandereeze monsters, so let's go into some of the other monsters in this deck. So for some of the other monsters we're playing, we've got 1 copy of Rise of the Mega Monarch, 1 copy of Mist Valley Apex Avion, 1 DD Crow, 1 copy of Simorgh Bird of Perfection, and 3 copies of the card everyone hates, Dimension Shifter. So, of course, Ryza, it's searchable off of your Eaglin, and when it's summoned, it can target a monster on the field, a monster in either graveyard, and then send those back to the top of the deck, top of their respective decks. And if a wind monster is used as part of the tribute, then it can also, excuse me, it can also send an additional monster right back to the hand. Avion, Omni-Negate just sends itself back to the hand to do that Omni-Negate. DD Crow, of course, just knocks stuff out of the graveyard, searchable off Rabina. But yeah, banishes from out of graveyard. Simorgh Bird of Perfection, it's searchable off Rabina as well. So one of the main functions for it is also to be able to chain block either your Rabina or your Eaglin or whatever else. But by allowing it to normal summon itself. But I use it a slightly different way, which we'll get to that in a little bit. And Dimension Shifter, like I said, the card everyone hates. You throw this down during your during the draw phase, whatever turn, and then until the end of the next turn, everything that would go to a graveyard instead gets banished. And there's one more little piece of chicanery I have in here that this bad boy legitimately won me a few games and just really mess with opponents. 1 copy of Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo. But yeah, so this, like Dimension Shifter and Impin, all just serves to piss people off. Basically, neither player can special summon when this guy is on the field, so especially for very special summoning dependent decks like Snake Eyes and other Snake Eyes, Voiceless Voice, things like that. It's just, yeah, like I said, it just serves to piss people off. But it really helped in this case, and the Simorgh plays a part of being able to get to it, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But anyway, that is it for monsters, so let's go to spells. So for our main engine spells, we're doing 3 copies of Floowandereeze and the Magnificent Map, 3 copies of Floowandereeze and the Advent of Adventure, and 1 copy of Floowandereeze and the Unexplored Winds. So with map, of course, you definitely want to see this, but it allows you to reveal a level 1 Floowandereeze in your hand, banish a Floowandereeze from your deck, and then normal summon the revealed monster off of its effects. So it's an extra normal summon. And then also, if your opponent on your opponent's turn, if your opponent normal summons, then you get the normal summon. And then of course we got Floowandereeze and the Advent of Adventure. You can banish a Wing Beast monster from your hand or face-up field, and then add either a Floowandereeze monster or a Floowandereeze field spell. So of course it's a good searcher, and it's also a way of like dodging targeting negates, such as Imperm. So just really helps you get around that. And then for our Floowandereeze and the Unexplored Winds, so it's got 2 main effects. One of them is that you can reveal up to 2 Wing Beasts in your hand, put them at the bottom of your deck, and then draw that many cards. But then its really good effect is that if it's on your field and you're going to do a tribute summon for a monster that will require 2 tributes, then you can use 1 monster from your side of the field and 1 card from your opponent's side of the field. So you can really mess up some of their stuff with that. But that is the engine spells, so let's get some of the other spells. So for searchers, we have, of course, 3 copies of Pot of Duality, 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Of course, with this one, excavate 3, and then bring 1 to your hand, shuffle the other 2 into the deck, and of course, after you do that, you can't special summon. But this is Floowandereeze. What the heck even is special summoning? We got 3 Prosperity, banish 6 from your 3 to 6 from your extra deck for cost, and then after that's done, you can if you banish 3, you can excavate 3. If you banish 6, you can excavate 6. And then bring 1 to your hand and put the other 5 at the bottom of your deck in any order. Dimensional Fissure basically makes it so that any monsters that would go to the graveyard get banished instead. And Terraforming, of course, to search out your field spell. And then there's one other bit of madness I have in here for spells. That is 3 copies of Small World. This card is just nuts, and it really helped out in a number of ways. So, how Small World works, it is really weird, but basically you reveal a card in your hand, and then you reveal another monster in your deck. That monster has to have in common with the monster in your hand exactly 1 of either type, attribute, level, attack, or defense. And then and then you bridge from that reveal monster in deck to another monster in deck, which that monster also has to have one of those 5, only 1 of those 5 things in common with the monster revealed from deck. The monster revealed from your hand, monster A, and then the monster revealed in your deck, monster B, both get banished face down, but monster C, the third one, goes to your hand. So if you need, so it's a way of kind of roundabout being able to get to maybe one of your, if you drew bad but you have like Simorg or you have one of your bigger birds, you can get to, you can bridge to get to one of your little birds. But it's also, but you can also use it using like my personal, using either Simorg or DD Crow to bridge to Dimensional Shifter, and then bridge to Fossil Dinopachycephalo to basically just say no to any special summoning and just really mess with your opponent. But this helped out a lot in terms of consistency and just being able to do some horrible, horrible things. But that is it for spells, and let's go to traps. So for traps, we just have these 3 in the deck, or in the main deck. 1 Floowandereeze into Dreaming Town, 1 Evenly Matched, and 1 Harpy's Featherstorm. It's just kind of like a round one type configuration for, if you don't know if you're going first or second. So you're kind of poised a little bit ready either way, and then you can adjust accordingly in the other rounds. Dreaming Town, its main thing is it allows you to normal summon during your opponent's turn, but then when it's in your graveyard, if you normal summon level 7 or higher wing beast, then you can banish it from your graveyard to force all of your opponent's monsters face down. Then evenly matched, of course, just whip that out if you got nothing on your field, go to battle, into battle phase, and just pretty much clear your opponent's field except for one thing. And Harpy's Featherstorm, you'll want you want that when you have like Impin or Impin on the field mainly, and set that, and then draw phase, the next of your opponent's turn, activate that, and basically until for the rest of the turn, your opponent's you have to have a level a wind wing beast monster on the field to do it, but your opponent's monster effects for the rest of that turn are all negated. But yeah, so that's the traps we have in main deck, and instead of going to extra deck, let's go to the side deck. So for the side deck, we've got 3 copies of Nibiru, 2 copies of Ash Blossom, 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird, 2 copies of Lightning Storm, 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 extra copy of Dimensional Fissure, 2 copies of Evenly Matched, and 2 copies of Harpy's Featherstorm. So of course, in the later round where you're going first, you want to put the Featherstorms in. When you're going second, you want the Evenly Matched. Nibiru is also good for going second. Ash and Droll, they're pretty helpful. Ash helped really particularly in a Flu Mirror match. The Lightning Storm, it helped out in the match against Crystal Beast. But yeah, so this is just kind of being able to retool like in the match during, depending on if you're going first and second, just really helps things out for it. But that's the side deck, and so now let's go to pretty much one of the things that matters least in all of existence for an extra deck in Floowandereeze. But yeah, like I said, one of the things that just matters least in all of existence in extra deck in Floowandereeze, its main purpose is just fodder for Pot of Prosperity. But of course, if you're ever in a situation where you kind of need to use it, then you have ways of getting to it. So we've got 2 copies of Kakinagashi Fucho, 2 copies of Lyrilisk Promenade Thrust, 2 copies of Lyrilisk Assembled Nightingale, 2 copies of Downer Magician, 1 copy of Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max, 1 Link Rebo, 1 Relinquished Anima, 1 Elder Entity Natis, 1 Garura, 1 Zeus, and 1 Typhon. Really none of this ever came up during the regional, except for, of course, fodder for Prosperity. But, there are some things like Fucho and Thrush. They're very much just throwaways off of that. These two, the Natis and Garura, they were mainly for in the event if I went against Voiceless Voice, which I didn't. If they did any of the Dogmatica stuff, then you could use those. Do some messed up stuff with those. Downward, of course, like if you make something like your Symbol Nightingale, then you can go into the Downward and then go into the Zeus. Typhon, if they do a lot of extra deck shenanigans and you're kind of hard up for moves. But yeah, none of this really came up, but just in the event that it does, got a few extra little things that you can do. But like I said, for the most part, extra deck in Floowandereeze doesn't really matter too much. But anywho, that is the deck profile, but don't log off of this just yet, because I got one more extra thing to talk about. Alright, so just one last thing I really wanted to talk about, and that's just to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed, liked, comment, viewed the videos. We just recently got past 25 subscribers, so just huge milestone for me. When I started doing this, I really didn't know if anything would come of it, but just thank you to all of you who have just supported this channel in whatever way, and in appreciation of that, I'm I am announcing that we're going to do a giveaway. So we're also doing this giveaway in conjunction with my friend Dusty over at Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Stupid. If you haven't checked out his content, please do so. He does some like really great stuff, and I'll of course tag him in the description. But he right now is just past, he just recently passed 50 subs. And so he and I are going to do a joint giveaway type thing. So once he reaches 100 subs and I reach 50 subs, then we'll do some giveaways off that. I can't reveal what we're giving away just yet, but I really hope it's something y'all will like. So just if you want a chance for that, just like I said, just like, comment, subscribe, and once we get to 50 subs, we'll get to that. But anywho, thank you for sticking around for this deck profile, and just thank you for supporting this channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, happy dueling.